Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you are watching around the world. You are joining the Invictus Racing League Formula 2 Equal Performance, and we are in round 11 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the stunning Yas Marina. I am Energy Dan, your host and commentator. I'll be bringing the action as and when it comes. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic race. You will not believe what you're about to watch. Now, we have had 11 races after this. That'll be coming into the final race. This is going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see what happens. It is wide open, apart from Nick, who's got a bit of an advantage in the standings. We will go through those shortly, but as we are riding on board with Tony, who's in front in the Haas, bear with me. Let's see if we can get them. GP1 Alex in the Haas, so we're going to stick with GP1 Alex, or whoever's in front, to see who sets the times first. Try and keep up with it. So as they're just going around the circuit and doing their installations lap, I'll run you through the circuit as I always do. So coming down the home finish straight, you fast approach the left turn of turn 1. Shortly after that, you will come to the medium turn of 2, which is a left, and then a long sweeping right of 3. Now this is where the pit exit is. Very tricky if you are coming out of that. It is a tricky pit exit all the way from the pits itself. Quite a few racers have taken it into the bottom wall at the base of the steep hill. That one would definitely be me last night. So let's not laugh too much about that. I don't think we'll see that from these guys. So back to the circuit, we're coming for the very, very slight turn left, which is 4, and then into the sharp left and sharp right, heavy braking zones on 5 and 6. This is where you get your first DRS detection zone with the open hairpin of turn 7. Speeding down the back straight, you get your first activation zone. You hit it at 219. By the end of that straight, you will be at 330 kilometers per hour. You get a heavy braking zone of turn 8, which is a sharp left, and then followed by another sharp right of turn 9. This is where your second DRS detection zone comes in. There's no buy one get one free on that today. You have to earn every single DRS activation. For those that are new, that has to be, you have to be within 1 second of the racer in front for the DRS detection to kick in for you. So coming down to the slight left-hander of turn 10, you get the second DRS activation zone. The rear wing will pop open, give you that bit of boost down to turn 11, which is a 90-degree left. Now this is a street section. Obviously the walls here are quite tight. Let me quickly go through this while we try to pick up on the first fast lap. So sharp right turn 12, left 13, and a sharp left of 14. Long sweeping left 15, then 16, and followed by 90 degree 17, left 90 degree 18, and again for 19, then to 20 and 21 the final corner, down to the home finish straight. Now, just on board with Rudy, I believe, is the first person who's going to set fast laps. Let's get the telemetry on, guys. We'll give the times. So, coming down this back straight, this is where you get the DRS. Storming ahead down to this sharp, so you got to keep it. It's a very sharp braking zone. It's easy to lock up, and again, these corners are where you can make up some serious times if you get it right. Anybody locking up, going too heavy with the braking, or going long with the braking, or maybe not hitting that traction point, they're gonna gain a lot of time or lose a lot of time. And again, where we're seeing Rudy there just locking up the tricky part of the circuit, they will be burning rubber on these qualies, on the quali laps. GP1 Alex is on the soft tyre, the super soft tyre, sorry. So provisional fast lap of a 137.4 for Rudy. I think we're going to see Tony White. It was Tony White, my apologies. 134. Now we're going to see Spud come over with a 137. Obviously going a lot slower there. So Tony and Nick setting blistering times on those super soft tyres. Oh, sorry, hyper soft tyres. The graphic was wrong there, I do apologise. Everyone else seems to be out on super softs apart from Rudy, who is on the hyper softs. I think he's come straight back into the pit as Rudy. So Parker's setting a time there of 138.2, but Sir Spud goes faster with 137.8. Just one board with Steen, who's on the super soft, looking tidy through this twisty section. up to that slow sweeping 15, but then it comes into that super tight section coming up. See what Steven can set. Slow it to 138.7. Check in with Tony and see if he's gone out on another fast lap. Yeah, he has. He's going for another fast lap, I think. Nope. Needs to come in. Will Tony stay out on these hypersofts? I'm not sure he will, because obviously the hypersofts do wear. Yeah, he's come in as well. So he's back to Sinus. Sinus, oh, brilliant lap from Sinus, 137.3, moves him up into P7. Provisional P7 for Sinus, that is brilliant stuff. Check in with Victor, he's in pits. White Fountain, is he going slow? Yeah, that is, it's a good idea. I think he's probably going to come in on this one, I think. Yeah, he is coming in. Big lock up from GP1 Alex. I think he'll probably come in after that, definitely. Just blast him through, see if we can get. So we saw Sinus there going really long into his 7th gear. But also look there from the graphics that Sinus shut his DRS ring ever so early. Maybe that's just to assist in the braking fun. Obviously the graphics haven't been the best this season. We have had certain graphic glitches, let's say, so it's hard as a commentator to keep a track of what's actually happening, because we do get graphic issues. So bear with me, guys, if you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Looking quite tidy there. Tony Wise, 134.9, absolute blistering. That's amazing. Really good lot from Sinuses, I think. 137.3, it was 3,000th a second quicker than his last lap. So yeah, it's good effort there, good effort. So looks like the guys, so we've got Tony and Victor coming out on out laps. They've all done 3. Rudy, let's see what Rudy's doing, because he should be on a fast lap. Getting all over the curb there. DRS open. See how he gets his braking zone. It's these next 2 corners of 12 and 13. You've got to get perfectly right. Looks like he went a bit sharp there by the looks of it. I think some people do tend to go slightly more open coming through that corner. It shows the different driving styles of the drivers. Looks beautiful, that braking zone there. That was brilliant. Oh, a bit of oversteer there. He is on the hypersofts. And he's aborted that lap. He has aborted that lap. So we had Victor and Nick and Tony White, I believe it was. So let's just work out who's ahead. Tony White comes into the last corner. That's his out lap. So yeah, it must be Victor who is going to be on his fast lap. Fresh set of hypersofts for Victor. Coming down that sharp left to turn 11, tricky braking zone. Should go tight left as he can. Yep. No, sorry, my apologies, that was 8 and 9. There we go now. Yeah, keeps it as fast as he can now. Let's see if he goes. Yeah, it's much more open than what we've seen previously from the other races. So it's obviously Victor's keeping the favourable tactic into keeping speed. Looking very tidy through this section. Looking like a good lap. This could be a 134.5 maybe. too much curb there. No, it's gone over 135.1. Very good lap though. He's up at the P3 with that. Check it in with Tony. I believe he's on a fast lap now. This could be good. 134.8 is it? Oh, 134.5. Absolute blistering lap from Tony Y. Fantastic stuff there. So just on board with Nick. See what he can do in that prancing horse. Looking very tidy there, not getting too much curb, disturbing the car's balance. Oh, he's backed off there. So this must be his hot lap. He was just getting ready to nail that down the home finish straight. So let's just ride on board with Nick, see if he can improve on a 134.9. Now this is where we've got to be careful. This is a fast sweeping corner 3. Absolutely imperative you don't get oversteer there, because once it goes big. That open hairpin of 7. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. So a bit of time before Nick gets there. He's just going through the first part of sector 2. Looks like it's cleared. Very nice through there, didn't get too much curb, just kept it nice and clean, traction just on point. Looks like we have lost Victor. Maybe that was the yellow flag we saw in sector 3, which is now reoccurring. And yellow flag in sector 2. So White Fountain up at the P4 with a 135.881. We saw a bit of a different technique there from Nick. Seems like he lifted off and coasted up. Oh, just getting up a little bit there. Unlucky there from Nick. Yeah, just coming through 13 and 14. Yeah, he's opted out of that one. Coming through 13 and 14, Nick seemed to, rather than power down towards 14, he seemed to just let off and glide to it. I wonder if that's what everyone else is going to start doing to try and keep the speed at the 14, but let's just see what looks like GP wants to on an out lap. Sorry about that. Let's try and select someone that is on a fast lap. So Steve must have had a problem. He's on a 3-minute 52 lap. Maybe he's got a problem. Maybe he's going to come in. No, he's not. In 15 seconds time. Sorry about that, that must have been a weird graphic failure again. There's a thing to the 137.197, but it looks like he is still on a fast lap. Like he got that alright there at braking zone. Let's see how he gets through this corner. Yeah. Not much wheel spin, kept it tight. So if you are watching tonight, guys, give us a message on the Twitch app. Let us know if you've been enjoying the season, if you've been watching all season. If you're new, welcome to Invictus. We try and give you some awesome racing here, and you've come to the right place with F2 Equal Performance. Is always a killer race. It's absolutely fantastic. It's action from start to finish. We've only got 11 races this evening. It's not like F2 Equal Performance League. We normally have a good 14, 15 races, if not more. But just because there's 11 races doesn't mean we're not going to get the action. They are absolutely fantastic in this league. So welcome if you're the first time watching us, or if you're new. I wasn't able to commentate last week, guys. We had Tim standing in for me. But I am back. So just running through, let's have a look. So try to catch who is on fast lap. Nick's back into the pits. So it's like Tony Y, if I'm reading this drive, given it's 19, he should be on a warm-up lap. So I'm hoping the graphics aren't failing me here. Yep, it was failing me. It's a 1:34.581 from Tony. So, if I read that right, that was 1,000 slower than his fastest lap. G4X is pulling out, I believe. He's got a problem. No. So never miss. Let's just see. We're going to get out of the way for someone. He's definitely not on a fast lap, is he? So let's try and find someone who is. White Fountain. Right, so White Fountain's in the 1:35.881. He's up into P6. Is that Rudy backing up on the track? They're looking up to get a penalty there. So right on board with Tony Y. Absolutely nails that braking zone. Really smooth there from Tony Y. Now, if you are new to watching F2 Performance, Performance does stand for exactly what it says on the tin. All the cars have equal performance. There's no advantage for being Ferrari. 1:34.311. Absolute fantastic stuff from Tony Y there. But yeah, as I was saying, all the drivers do have the same power. It is all down to the driver's skill level and setup. So the last 22 seconds of this qualifying. If you've crossed the line, before it gets 0, you can finish the fast lap if you're on one, not a problem. However, if the guys are on, if they've been doing a fast lap and they've backed out, their time will stand. So there you see Rudy and GP1X have had finishing flags. That means they can't improve on their time. That's where they will stay unless someone improves. Just riding on board with Partridge, seeing if he can improve on his 1:38.2. He's on the ultra soft tyre. That could be an indication of what he's trying to do for the race. However, if he doesn't get better than 2:10, he's got free choice anyway. He's looking really tidy. He's going to be slower though. He's on the ultra soft tyre. You can tell the tyre is harder than the Hypersofts because you can see the car just ever so slightly drifting where it should be gripping. And they don't go for these corners as quick. Can he improve? He can improve! Wow, Partridge goes with a 1:35.484. Fantastic stuff from him. Try and find White Fountain, see if he can improve. Oh, it goes wide. Oh, 1:34.855. That was fantastic from White Fountain. He's up into P3. Absolutely amazing stuff from White Fountain and also Partridge there. I believe everyone's finished their fast laps. Yeah, so we should have done. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So absolute fantastic stuff from the guys there. Partridge qualified in P7. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So there you go. There are your qualifying finishes for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We've got Tony Y in 1, Nick in 2nd, White Fountain in 3rd, Victor in 4th, GP1X in 5th, Ozone in 6th, Partridge in 7th, Rudy in 8, Steen in 9, Sir Spud in 10, and Tynus bringing up the rear in P11. Now, if you see Tony Y and Nick both setting their times on Hypersofts, as has Victor and Rudy. So, are we going to see the Hypersoft guys storm out a bit of a lead, but have to pit sooner? This is all what we were saying before in the previous broadcast about the strategy and the tyre choice. It's a street circuit. It's going to punish those tyres so much, and they will have to pit. I would imagine lap 6 with heavy fuel loads, maybe even lap 5. It really just depends on how hard they push those tyres and how much pressure they get from all the other racers. Once we see the graphic again, we'll run through what everyone else's tyres were and what they're starting on. Obviously, you've only got the super softs and the ultra softs to choose from. Now, the super softs are going to go the longest, with the ultra soft being the middle choice for your tyre deck and grip. So, as we're just waiting for this to all load up, let's just run through the standings as they are. Bear with me as I'll bring it up. Now, apologies, there have been some racers leave this season. So we've got Nick leading the championship in 94 points, 16 points ahead of MJ Coop. He's on 78. Then in P3 we've got White Fountain. Good Stuff, who unfortunately I believe he's left this season, so Good Stuff's no longer in. He was partnering GP1 Alex for the Constructors title, so that looks like it has gone to pot, unfortunately. We've got Humberstone, who's in P6. Nizmax, I think he's left. Sir Spud in P8. Tony White in 9. Partridge in 10. Partridge's done brilliant. He's only done 3 races, and he's up into 10th. So really good stuff from him. So again, as we're just doing the formation lap, we'll run through these corners. That's turn 1. Not a lot of distance here to turn 2. You've got that slight right sweeper of turn 3. The cheeky little invisible turn 4. And here you come to the heavy braking zone of 5. And the tricky section of 6. Coming to the open hairpin of 7. Coming towards the first DRS activation zone, which you will see the white line as you see the guys weaving and warming up those tyres. So it's a relatively long back straight here. There'll be a lot of overtaking done there, I do believe. So sharp 8, sharp 9, and then down to your second DRS detection zone, and then your DRS activation zone. So as you speed down towards turn 11, that tricky turn 11, 12 and 13 and 14. Got Rudy disqualified from the qualifying session. So if you are new to this, guys, don't worry, that just means he's forming up on the grid, ready for the other guys to line up. Oh, is that Tony White getting a bit happy on the throttle there? Yeah, he will still be in the race. He just loses the ability to warm up his tyres for some sort of infringement in the formation lap. So while we're just getting ready, I'm just going to start sorting all my settings out. So, position change to start. Sorry guys, I'm talking to myself, just getting this ready so I can commentate the best I can, guys. And we're going to go with probably around Victor, GP1 Alex for the start, and then move forward because I want to try and catch as much of this as I can, guys. So the races are lining up. We'll soon see those beautiful red lights. We've got 5 lights. And we are away. Wheel spinning from the guys at the back. So Tony White got a brilliant start there. Oh, it looks like we got a 3 into 1 corner there. Tony got a stonking start there. It looks like the Force Indians moved up a place. So we've got Tony White with Nick, then followed by Victor, then White Fountain. We can see the ozone in the McLaren bunching up there. followed by GP1 Alex, who's a little bit further back. We've got some action there in the background. Patch and Rudy swapping places by the looks of it. It's mingling at the back with Tynus and Sir Spud also, but Tony White is storming out into the lead here. Everyone's just settling down. We're seeing that racing train as it unfolds. Now DRS not activated yet. We've got 3 more laps before we see DRS. We've got some action in the back there. Let's just go back, see if we can catch who is attacking in the back. We've got Rudy, who's just about to overtake Partridge by the look of it. Didn't make that. Oh, yeah, he's coming on the outside of Partridge. Let's just go with them, see if we can catch that action. Partridge back in front. So, no, he didn't make it stick. And they are bobbing and weaving. Absolute fantastic stuff from the guys there. Yeah, and then Steen's also in the mix. So, it looks like we had Rudy going. Oh, Rudy's off. So, Partridge will take that position back. Oh, we got touched there. Oh, was that oh, did Rudy come back on the track without properly checking his mirrors? It looked like he did. We had some hustling and bustling there from Rudy, Partridge and Steen. I don't think Steen was really in the mix, but some serious action going on between Rudy and Partridge. Partridge is still trailing Rudy. I do believe Rudy may have to give that position back. It did look like he came on a little bit quick. So Tony White setting the fastest lap. Who's now? Oh, let's just nip back to Tony White and Nick, because it jumped from 4 seconds to .2. The 2 Ferraris storming out in front there. Let's just see where Victor is and what he's doing. So Tony White, then Nick, then Victor, then we've got White Fountain, Ozone, we've got GP1 Alex, followed by Rudy, followed by Partridge, then Steen, then Sir Spud and Tynus. So I'll just try to keep a track of these guys. Looks like everyone is just settling down into their respective strategies. Let's just do detail for tyres. Just remind everyone what tyres are on. So Tony White, Nick and Victor all on the Hypersofts. I'm surprised to see White Fountain within 2 seconds of those. Tyner's picking up a penalty there, 3 seconds for corner cutting. So yeah, as I was saying, Tony White, Nick and Victor all on Hypersoft, and the White Fountain is less than 2 seconds behind. I know it's only lap 2, but I was expecting the Hypersoft guys to seriously put some pressure on. Now, moving back with the Hypersoft, we've got Rudy, who is on Hypersoft. He's sitting interval. He's sitting 1.41 back. Has he had serious problems there then? As we're just seeing Rudy getting past. Patch getting past Steen, I do believe. I do apologise, guys. It's random one with GP1. He's all on the back of Ozone there. Tony White, the fastest lap again, 138.862. Now, this is those Hypersoft tyres playing into the mix with the fastest laps. I do think we will see fastest laps, especially towards the end. But again, it all depends on what strategies the guys are going for, what tyres they'll be on in the end. So we've got another 26 laps of this. The Hypersoft guys, when they pit, I imagine they'll try and go on the Supersoft, maybe try and go to the end, but I think it is achievable. If they can go to maybe lap 7, with the push the Hypersoft to lap 7, then we've got 21 on the Supersoft. It is a lot of laps on the Supersoft, especially if you try to be competitive. But it's not often these guys do go for 2-stop strategies. Not many circuits. They would see GP1 Alex just getting past Ozone there. Oh, and a bit of a lock up there. Maybe thought better of it, didn't want to go too tight into that corner there, but he is on the throttle. He's going to get DRS. It opens up. He's going to the right. Let's just hope they keep this clean coming. Oh, beautiful shot. I would see all the racers coming through, and he's kept it clean through there. It looks like he is up now into P5 as you see the rest of the racers coming through, but Ozone is all over the back of him. Absolute fantastic racing from these two. So just looking down the grid, it looks like this is the main battle at the minute. We have got White Fountain touching the back of Victor, but not as much as these two right now. Going a bit wide there for GP1 Alex. You don't really want to get onto the outside of that track. Obviously all the marbles and rubber, it's kicked off to the left. It makes that side very, very dirty. Also seeing Ozone going out there wide, and obviously picking up a bit of rubber and a bit of dirt. It does affect traction. you do get a bit of slidey action coming through the next 1, 2, maybe even 3 corners. So let's just check in with White Fountain, who is literally chewing on the back of the gearbox of Victor. He's going to be in the slipstream there each time on a straight. He will be. Ah, there you go. DRS is open. Didn't seem to push up just as much as I thought. Oh, looks like a bit of a heavy braking situation there for Victor, allowing White Fountain to seriously get all over the back of him. Now obviously DRS again, the second DRS zone. Don't think he's going to make it to the corner first. He's going on the dirty side of the track. Nope, thinks better of it. But you can literally see exactly what Victor had for breakfast. He's that close. So brilliant from these guys also. 2 awesome battles going on for 6th and 5th and 4th and 3rd. Looking at the interval times at the front, Tony White having a comfortable race with Nick within 1.5 of him. So we're just going to stick with this main battle here. These 4 races, each battling their respective battles, but brilliant entertainment for us. So if you are watching, guys, give us your predictions. When will the Hypersoft guys come in for fresh rubber? I'm guessing lap 6. They might push it to lap 7, but the way they're going, I don't think it'll go much further than that. So let us know if you're watching tonight, guys. Let us know if you're enjoying it. So White Fountain has made it past GP1 Alex. Apologies for missing that, guys. So let's check with Victor and Ozone, see how they're getting on. We've got a Force India sandwich here. Ozone is sandwiched between the 2 Force Indias. And Ozone moves to the left. Is he going to make this stick? He's got the inside line here. Oh, it's going to be tight. And he comes back at him. Oh, Victor comes back at him. This is brilliant racing from these 2. But then that's going to bring Partridge into the mix as well. Oh, DRS opens for both the Force Indias. No, sorry, the McLaren and the Force India. It's looking tight. Oh. We've got a bit of desync going on here, I think, guys. Both the 2 Force Indias and the McLaren of Ozone are absolutely going wheel to... Ah, we've got Ozone out. I think we may have had contact there. May have had contact. The 2 Force Indias have survived by the look of it. You see as it comes out the corner here, the wing's intact. So, did we see a bit of desync in there? The graphic did show that the cars were overlapped, so maybe that was a desync issue. It did look like they were racing fair, so hopefully with a review from the stewards we can surmise that that was desync and not driver error. We received some awesome stuff there. If you're new to Invictus, we do have a stewards panel. All incidents that are reported by the drivers is investigated by independent, neutral adjudicators. So let's just check in with the race leader, Tony Y. And let's, for a very rare opportunity, Partridge picking up a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. So we are riding on board with Tony Y. Let's just have a look in the next few corners with his braking, with his traction. Let's see how he's faring up on those Hypersoft tyres on lap 5. Lap 6 it is, but he's done 5 laps on those tyres. So it doesn't look like he's having much trouble keeping a nice tight line. This is heavy braking zone coming up. Yep, seems to be pretty good there, no qualms at all. As you come through 10, 11, 12 and 13. Seems to have good traction on to through 14. Let's see about the heavy braking zone of 17. Yeah, no lockups, looking really smooth there. So Tony Y having a stonker of a Grand Prix so far on these Hypersofts. Not much gap between the remaining drivers, to be honest with you. I'll just switch that to leader. Now, as you can see, there's only 17 seconds. Ah, there we go. Tony White comes in, lap 5. So let's go to Nick. Nick's staying out 1 lap longer. So imagine Tony will come out on the super softs. We'll soon see. But yeah, Nick seems to be going 1 lap longer. White Fountain out with P2. He is on those ultra softs. So he's going to go much, much longer than the 2 Ferraris. But let's just go for best lap. Which I can't have. To apologise, guys. It's not qualified. I can't show you that. But yeah, this is where the tyre life and the tyre strategies come into play. We've also got a few more stopping. Invictus now coming for his stop. He's out in P8. So we've lost Tynus, Ruby and Ozone. That is unfortunate. We've only got 8 races left in this Grand Prix. But as you can see, White Fountain can see the back of Nick just up in the distance. Let's just go back to broadcast view. So White Fountain, he will be pushing hard on these tyres. Let's just see what Nick's got on. Nick's still got his Hypersofts on. We're probably going to see Nick come in, and if not, he's probably trying to push those Hypersofts longer and longer to make the next 2 stints, or maybe 1 stint, that little bit easier for him in the closing stages. Let's just see what Nick does. He's going to stay out, I think. He is. He's staying out. So he is. He's going longer on those Hypersofts. Fair play from Nick. So looking at the interval there, guys, we've got Nick. Oh, I've lost the tyres. There you go. So Nick doing 7 is on his 8th lap now on those Hypersoft tyres. White Fountain's on his 8th lap on the Ultrasoft, followed by G.Ix and Steen. G.Ix doing a really good first stint on these Ultrasoft tyres. He's only 3.8 seconds back from the leader. So brilliant stuff from G.Ix there. Steen's 9 seconds back from the leader, and Tony Y is then 14 seconds back. Surspud 17, and then Partridge looking at a good 24 seconds back. Is that right? 25 seconds now, and then 41 for Victor. So I dare say we're going to see some serious slipping coming from Nick now. Let's just check him out on the T-cam as he comes up to the heavy braking zone as this left-hander. Still looking tidy, not too much curb. Nice and easy through 12 and 13. Doesn't seem like he's getting much wheel spin, so he's keeping it nice and tidy. Is he going to go for another lap? Interesting to see. He's looking tidy and fast. So he's done a 139.516. I don't think he'll be able to do any better than that this many laps in, but let's just see what he does as he crosses the line. Yeah, he's staying out again. So fast as 139.5 to 140. Ooh, wow, 1.6 slower. So are we going to see him coming on the next? Surely he's going to come in for some fresh rubber next. I really can't see him going much longer than he has. Tony Wise sets the fastest lap now of a 138.811. So he's obviously making those fresh tyres work for him. So White Fountain's only 2.1 back. He is on, still on those Ultrasofts, not stopped yet. Steen's sitting 6 seconds back from him, so he's got a lot of ground to make up with Steen, as you can see in the background there. So this is the part of the Grand Prix where we're going to see the gaps form, the strategies play, and then later on in the second phase, when the rest of the guys have stopped, it'll all concertina back up, and you'll see where the strategies have put the races in contention with each other. You normally get a split of 2 groups. You obviously get the back guys and the front guys, depending on what strategy they've gone for. In fact, while we're saying strategies, let's just go for position change, see who's our winner and who's our of the Grand Prix so far. So Nick and White Fountain at 1 place. Obviously they've not stopped yet. G.Ix up 2. Steen's doing a stonk of a Grand Prix so far. Up 5 places, obviously not stopped yet. Tony Y, who has stopped and he's coming back up the order. He'll be making his way to the front slowly but surely. Probably going to see him come back to the front maybe around lap 17, 18. So let's keep an eye on that. So Nick's coming for some fresh rubber. Just saw that on the graphic. He's in for some fresh rubber. So obviously Nick's going to come up in at P4. So yeah, Victor's down 4 places, and look at him, Sir Spud's up 3 places, maybe because of action where we saw Ozone, Rudy and Tynus go out. Not too sure what happened to Ozone. It did look like Ozone had a bit of a desync issue, and he was battling with the Force Indias. Gutted we lost Ozone, because it looked like that was warming up to be a fantastic battle between those 3. So that's really unfortunate. So White Fountain is now leading this race. He's followed by GP1 Alex, going for tyres, just so we keep track of it. So 17 seconds Nick trails the leader on fresh super softs. Obviously Tony Y has come out on ultra soft and has done 3 laps on those. He's obviously going to take the lead again shortly, but looking at what Nick's done, he's decided to split the strategy, or maybe they've decided this beforehand, but he's on super softs. Could Nick see it to the end on the super softs? I can't wait to see what happens with the strategy, guys. I really can't. Again, if you are watching, give us a tweet. It's the Energy Dan, or sorry, just Energy Dan on Twitter, or if you're on the Twitch stream, give us a message. Give us your predictions. Let us know what you are thinking and how the race is going. We're seeing GP1X there getting a little bit rear axle happy coming out of that last turn. So a bit of a spread now, between the guys. So your battle is going to be GP1X and White Fountain for the time being, until we see Nick start pushing towards the front. So we've got Sir Spuds coming into the pits. He's under 9 laps or 10 laps on those super softs. Heavy fuel loads, obviously that's going to shorten the tyre life. The likes of Nick, who's come out on super soft, won't be as bad with the degradation, you know, the wear of the tyre. He's burnt off some fuel now. So I was just saying about Nick could maybe go to the end on those super softs. It'll be an impressive feat if he does. Conversely, Tony Y is out on the ultra softs. Oh, bit of action there. Oh, we have GP1X just getting all over the sides of White Fountain. So White Fountain leading this race. GP1X nipping at his heels. Is he going to see GP1X come back up to the rear of him? Brilliant stuff from these two. Fast sweep of 12 and 13 that we saw there, and then coming through to 14. Absolute brilliant shots seeing them come through to 15, 16 and 17. I wish we could select that view more often. Absolute fantastic view, especially for the viewers. So 8 races left, guys. We are seeing GP1 Alex fighting with White Fountain at the front. We've done 10 laps. About to they're both coming to the pits. So White Fountain and GP1 Alex playing against each other. Tony Y is now going to bring back the lead for himself. That'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with Tony Y on these ultra soft tyres. He's got another 16 laps to do on those tyres. Nick's just setting the fastest lap there, a 1:38.649. So yeah, Tony Y back in the lead. We've got Partridge out on hyper softs, 7 seconds back. So obviously Partridge will have to stop again. Nick, we don't know, he could do. White Fountain, GP1 Alex and Steen all stopping on the same lap for a fresh set of super soft tyres. Now, this could be very interesting. The likes of GP1 Alex and White Fountain could very well push up to the back of Nick by the end. Oh, Partridge. Nick got in front of Partridge there, just because I missed that. Just caught on the corner. I was so sorry for missing that, guys. But yeah, Nick has got past Partridge. So Nick now storming after Tony Y. He's now 7.2 seconds back from his teammate. Let's change that to interval. That's why I missed that, guys. I do apologise. So again, going back to the tyre strategy, Partridge is going to have to stop again. He's done 4 laps on hyper softs. He'll probably go on to some ultra softs and then go to the end. He'll drop down the order, but GP1 Alex, White Fountain, GP1 Alex and Steam all out on super soft tyres. They could very well push up to the back of the 2 Ferraris by the end of this race. So Partridge is staying with him, but every time we've been at the back of Nick's car, he is in the dirty air. You're going to get more, the chassis is going to slide more through the corners because you lose downforce. You're getting in that wake of the dirty air. That's why you normally see guys tend to, if they're on the same strategy, they might not always attack. They'll just sit back, save some battery, and then give it a good storm when they want to release that energy. So the ERS, or the energy recovery system, it gives a good 85 brake horsepower difference at full deployment. The racers can change that. We just saw Patrick there getting DRS. That'll bring him up closer to the back of Nick. So yeah, the energy deployment, the guys can select what they're doing in regards to energy deployment. For example, Partridge, he's not deploying much at the minute, he's harvesting. You see what Nick's doing. Nick's on 5, he's stonking that back to where he can. So coming out of the acceleration zones, it'll knock it up to 4 and 5. Get the acceleration phase out of the way, then knock it back down. Coming to a tight section like now, I'll probably turn it down to 1 like he has done. There's no point in having all that power because you just get the rear axle sliding, you're losing traction. I'll probably wait until it opens up a bit more, knock it back up to 3 or 4. He's knocked it up to 3, there you go. So again, these are all things that play into the strategy. Who attacks with the ERS and changes it often. You will get some racers that tend to sit around 3, then just harvest and deploy when they recharge the battery. But look, he's changing as and when he needs to, coming through those corners. So Partridge there with a 3/4 battery, but not deploying any more coming down that straight. Keeps it on 2. So this is what I was saying about what the drivers do in regards to energy deployment. Some guys chop and change it very quickly, some others just sit on 2 or 3 and then harvest and deploy with a maximum deployment every so often. Partridge in 6 laps on those hypersofts. Now coming to mid-race distance, so half fuel load. It could maybe make those go to lap 9. If he stays this far back from Nick, again, doesn't want to be running in the dirty air, coming off the back of Nick. So White Fountain, he's 6 seconds back from Partridge. Then we've got GP1X not too far in the background, chasing after White Fountain. He's on those super soft tyres, done 2 laps, as has White Fountain and as has Steen. So Victor's now done 8 laps on those ultra softs. I think we'll probably see him stop again, to be honest with you. So let's see when Partridge comes in off those hypersofts. I'm guessing lap 9. And they're probably going to some ultra softs. But Nick doesn't seem to be catching Tony White much, but obviously Nick can go longer on those super softs. And Tony White is going to struggle probably towards the end of lap 22, 23. They don't last forever, those ultra softs, at all. It just depends how much he's pushing. We've got on board with Tony White. Let's see how he's getting on as he comes to the next heavy braking zone. Yep, looking pretty good there, no qualms. Tackling 12 and 13 pretty well, no serious instance of oversteer. Keep it nice and tidy. And again, very tidy from Tony White there, so let's check in with Nick. See how he's getting on with his traction. Obviously the Supercross not as grippy, I can see him go a little bit wide there coming through that section. Knocks it down a couple there, going to the last corner, knock it down a couple again. Yeah, it just seems like the rear axle is sliding a bit more for Nick. He is on the slightly harder tyre. He has caught up a little bit. He's now down to 4.5 seconds trailing Tony Y. Partridge 2.21. So everyone's on the one stop. So looking at that, I think we're going to see Victor stopping again, definitely. I'll also probably see Tony Y stopping again. 12 more laps on those. That means he'll have done 21 laps on ultra soft tyres. Is that going to open himself up to be attacked by White Fountain if he doesn't? These are all things that I'd love to know what the guys have chosen to do, or is it all being decisions on the fly? So just see there, spaced out between 3 corners, Tony Y, Nick and Partridge. 9 laps, 6 laps and 8 laps, but obviously Partridge is going to have to stop again. He just can't go to the end on them, not at all. And if he does, he's going to end up dropping way back. So if he does stop, he's going to drop probably, by the looks of it, just in, yeah, probably midway between Victor and Sir Spud. So Nick down to 4.2 seconds, eating into the lead that Tony Y has. Lap 10 on the ultra soft for Tony Y. I imagine degradation's playing a part, but he's not going to have as much grip as when he started. Last 11 laps for Nick on those super softs. Now White Fountain, he's only 6 seconds back from Nick. With 11 laps to go, could we see an absolute brilliant race for White Fountain and see him attack Nick towards the end? Now we have seen White Fountain in the past do some absolute amazing comeback drives from either poor starts or incidents. Again, particularly, was it the first race of the season or the second race of the season, we saw White Fountain come back from, was it P15 and he got P4? I don't remember the specifics, but I remember White Fountain doing an awesome comeback drive. It looks like, so if you go details and see about his position changes, White Fountain is in where he started. So we've seen Tony Y, Nick and White Fountain all come back to where they started the race. Still on at 6.5 seconds for White Fountain. Now so Tony Y's come back in the pit, so yeah, he has come in for some fresh rubber, he's gone on some ultra softs. So yeah, White Fountain's now up into P2. So Tony Y on some fresh rubber, he's now sitting 13 seconds back from the leader on fresh rubber on those ultra softs. Could this be covering off the attack at the end? As he puts some fresh rubber on just to try and put the pressure on, force the other guys into a pit stop and be more comfortable in the last stint, in the last 10 laps of this race. So White Fountain in P2, chasing after Nick. Similar sort of lap lifetimes, 8 and 6. Now Nick's in clean air now. He should be pretty chuffed with that, because he only has to go 10 laps on those super softs. And Tony Y has to make up 15 seconds. That's 1.5 seconds a lap for the next 10 laps to be able to come back into P1. So again, if you are watching the stream, guys, let us know what you're thinking. Are we going to see the likes of Nick and White Fountain go to the end on those super softs, or do you think it's an impossible task? You do get serious punishment going around this street circuit. A lot of 90-degree bends, a lot of heavy braking zones. and the odd medium swinging corner that does put lateral G-force on the rear axle, adding to tyre deg. So White Fountain now 6.3 back from Nick. So let's just ride on board with Nick for a second, see how he's getting along. Partridge setting a fast enough 1:37 there. So great stuff from Partridge on those fresh ultra softs. I think we'd have all expected that. But I'm pretty sure Tony Y might come through with a fast lap shortly. But it looks like the times are holding kind of steady at the minute. So Steen's just chasing after Partridge. He's done 7 laps on those super softs, so I don't think we're going to see Steen really attacking Partridge, because 5 laps difference on the super softs to the ultra softs, it's probably, I'd argue that would be pretty neutral, with the added tyre life, the grip of one tyre against the other with the degradation. I'd imagine, in my opinion, that would be a level playing field. Bit of oversteer there for White Fountain coming out the last corner. Still seeing 6 seconds plus for White Fountain. Does look like he's on a charge, but it didn't seem to be gaining significant lap time onto the back of Nick. Now looking at Nick, again he's on the super softs, done 10 laps, got 8 laps to go. Just keep an eye on that interval as we come into the last stages of this race. We're in the last third of this race. Now, it'd be interesting to see if Tony Y can improve lap after lap and reel in GP1 Alex. Now, if he does catch GP1 Alex, which I imagine he will do, especially on those fresh ultra softs, he's going to have to put a really good move on GP1 Alex to make sure he gets past quickly, without incident, and not losing any time. So he really wants to get onto the back of him for the 2 DRS zones and seriously put a move on him. Don't want to be losing time. So with Tony's strategy here, he cannot be held up by GP1 Alex. He needs to get past him as quickly as he can. It's almost imperative. If he has any chance of getting the race win here today, he has to find a way past GP1 Alex as quickly as possible and then break that 1 second time gap to eliminate the DRS that GP1 Alex would have. So he's 1.6 back now. Brilliant helicopter shot there, watching Tony Y coming through these next 2 corners. This is where the pit exit is. Again, absolute tricky pit exit. Really downhill with a sharp left, sharp right. It really puts forces on the tyres, especially when they're cold. You know, brakes cold, tyres cold. A lot of people do make mistakes coming out of the pit exit. I did last night. Down to 1.4 now for Tony Y. He's reeling him in 1.2. Almost within DRS range, so he's going to have to wait until the next DRS detection zone. So for this next sector, he needs to really push and get within that 1 second of GP1 Alex. White Fountain still only sitting 6.5 back from Nick, so Nick is keeping his own. So Tony Y now within that 1 second. So you have to wait until he gets to the DRS detection zone. He's now in the slipstream though. That will be aiding him get up to the front of him. He might not even need DRS at this stage. He's really putting some pressure on him. Here's the DRS detection, and he's got it obviously. He'll be all over the back of him. Keep it clean, nice acceleration. Wait for the DRS line. Open it up, and this should be a straightforward pass, to be honest with you guys. This should not be any hassle whatsoever. You see G.Alex going left, so G.Alex pulling left to try and break the slipstream, because you don't want DRS and slipstream. That could have been a smart move from G.Alex there. As I was saying, because he pulled left, that meant that Tony Y wasn't in the slipstream. So even though he got DRS, he gets DRS now though. Surely he's going to make this happen. Doesn't make it too easy for him. Makes him go on the dirty side. Gets the inside line. And does get the pass done. So really smart defensive racing from G.Alex there. Pulling left to break the slipstream. To counteract the DRS, let's say. And then just keeping it really tight. Did leave space, but kept it tight, so Tony Y had to go to the dirty side of the track during the braking phase, which would have spoiled his acceleration of the next corner, meaning that the gap he gained by the overtake was reduced. So Tony Y now up into P3, chasing after White Fountain, who's 5.4 seconds in front. 6 laps left. It's going to be difficult. Tony Y may have made a mistake here by pitting for the second time. Stops. Yeah, Tony Y has put. Yeah, so I'm not wrong on that one. So Nick and White Fountain might have made an absolute blinder of a decision to stay out. And maybe they were looking after their tyres better at the start. Maybe they planned to do this all along and do the one stop. It's not often we see F2 Equal Performance guys stopping more than once. It's very rare we do see them stop twice. But the street circuits, especially Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Monaco and Baku, it's hard to do one stop. The force is exerted on the rear axle as you accelerate, and the braking zones affecting the front tyre grip. It plays a massive part on degradation, so that's why we normally see the guys do 2 stops for street circuits. So G.Alex now sitting 1.5 back from Tony Y, but Partridge on some pretty fresh ultra soft tyres. He's only got 6 laps left. Could we see Partridge bring in that gap to GP1 Alex? Maybe we can. 6 laps remaining in this amazing Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Just checking with our race leader Nick. We've got a ghosting car there. Is a ghosting car of Victor? Yeah, so we may have lost Victor from the race because he's ghosting. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, Nick does look like he's having a whale of a time out there in the lead. 5 seconds in front of White Fountain. White Fountain is starting to reel him in ever so slightly on those slightly fresher super soft tyres. Just looking at Nick, he's doing a pretty tidy job out in front here. So 4 laps to go. So brilliant strategy from Nick and White Fountain. Tony White is starting to come onto the back of Tony White though. He's now at 4.7. So again guys, as I was saying at the start and midpoint of this race, strategy plays a massive part. We saw chopping and changing from Nick, White Fountain and Tony, and same with G2 Alex and Partridge, all choosing different strategies. Yeah, again, back up to 5-second lead for Nick. Absolutely brilliant stuff from him. Let's just check in White Fountain, see how he's getting on those super softs. You see there Tony White coming around the corner as we were on board White Fountain. So Partridge now nearly a second behind GP1 Alex. Is GP1 Alex suffering on those 13 lap old super soft tyres? Let's just check in with Partridge and see exactly what he's doing. Tony White, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Oh, we got a spin there. Oh, he kept it. I thought we had a spin from Partridge, but he kept it. 8 laps on those ultra soft tyres. He's obviously been pushing hard. He may have a couple of hot spots on his tyres there. Good save from Partridge there though, fair play. His wings must have been flapping considerably, I think, because I was flapping for him. Bit of a panic going on there, thinking we're about to see a DNF. But the force is strong in those wings and he kept it straight. He is really seriously putting some pressure on GP1 Alex here. So GP1 Alex just might be suffering with those super soft tyres. We could see a late on change of position between Partridge and GP1 Alex. Now 6 tenths, he is gaining. It looks like we've got a situation where the degradation and or strategy has played a serious part in the final closing stages of this Grand Prix. So Partridge doing well there, just keeping a little bit back because you don't want to be too close coming through this next section. You lose downforce, you'll go wide. It makes it really, really tricky coming through this twisty section. Now this braking zone coming up is difficult. He's decided to press up onto him. Just a little bit wide there. Was that the lack of downforce, the dirty air that we saw? The front axle of Partridge was slightly stepping out there. So he's just keeping out the wake there. Smart racing from Partridge. DRS will open. Yep, flicks open. He goes to the left onto the dirty side of the track. This should be a pretty simple move. Yeah, it is. So great stuff from Partridge there, up into P4. Now 4 seconds back from Tony Y. But GP1 Alex will get DRS again. So this is done in negative when you don't have a buy one get one free. You can overtake a racer, but then when the second DRS phase, the person you just overtaken will get DRS. So it's really difficult how to judge the DRS situation on these circuits. So Tony Y is now within 1.7 of White Fountain. This is what I was saying again, guys. Coming when Tony Y made his second stop, he's going to have fresher tyres towards the end. I don't think he's better make it up into P1. Not with that gap coming into the last lap. Almost. .4 back from White Fountain. So last final push from Tony Y to try and salvage a place that he has lost. So GP1 Alex and Partridge still sitting relatively close to say they're on such different tyres. Did say about the lap life of each tyre in the grip, and that those two would have been pretty much levelled off with the amount of laps done and the grip levels and the degradation sustained through racing. It'd be nice to see those two battle towards them, but we're almost on the last lap. I don't think we're going to see anything changing from those guys. So Tony Y now within that 1 second of White Fountain. He's going to get DRS in the next section for the last lap. He's going to probably get DRS both times. So this might very well be the last overtake of the race. Round 11, Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the Yas Marina. So to navigate in turn 1, he should keep back here. You don't want to get in the wake of the dirty air coming through turns 2 and 3. Tight right of turn 3. and should start to nip up for the turns 5 and 6, and then comes the DRS detection zone. He's going to get it, and as he turns around turn 7, feels nice and close. Probably go to the right here. No, you see, it's different. So we just saw White Fountain staying to the right. Now, if I was Tony White, I would have wanted to go far to the right, keep the traction good, and get a good clean getaway. But he does make the pass. Rubbish angle there. But as White Fountain come back at him, tight there, he does. It's a clean. It is clean. But yeah, as we were saying, White Fountain did go to the right on the racing line to make Tony White try and go to the left. So they are battling again. You get the second DRS phase. They don't quite get it. So yeah, White Fountain is up into P2 again. So great stuff from these guys. Tony White and White Fountain having a serious ding-dong battle. Nick's still sitting. We're gonna have to watch these guys coming to the last few corners, because absolute brilliant stuff from these guys. Rubbish view here. Come on, Codemasters. What are you doing? We want to see some racing, not a cockpit view. Where's the helicopter view when you need it? These guys are racing all the way to the finish line. We're going to see that checkered flag on who's going to be in P2, who's going to be in P3. It looks like it's going to be White Fountain. Brilliant racing from these guys. Yeah, there you go, White Fountain and Tony White. So Tony White is dropping because of penalty. So we've got Nick taking the win. It looks like he's going to storm away with this season. White Fountain taking a very well-deserved P2. GP1 Alex, fantastic race from him. Kept it cleaner and moved up into P3 and taken a podium off of Tony White. Partridge moving to P4, who stole a place from Tony White because of penalties. So Tony White seriously be affected by those penalties. Unlucky from him, but it's a fantastic race. Steen taking up the P6 position, great race from him. And then Sir Spud should be coming up in the P7, with Victor bringing up the rear in P8. Absolute fantastic there. We saw some chopping and changing. Unlucky that we saw Tony White relegated to P5 because of penalties. Again, I've said it before, bit of a wiggle there. But yeah, we do see a lot of penalties in Formula 2 Equal Performance League. It does make it seriously interesting. There you go, there's your races. Nick taking the win. I think that is his 5th win of the season, I believe. Fantastic stuff from Nick there. So well done, lad. And we've got White Fountain and GP1 Alex on the 3rd spot, taking a well-deserved champagne spray. So absolutely fantastic from the guys on the podium steps there. So brilliant strategy from the racers there. We did see 2 stops, we saw 1 stops. Absolutely fantastic, great racing. I can't wait for the final race of the season, which is Monza. So just quickly running through, we've got Nick taking his win there in P1. We've got White Fountain in 2nd place, GP1 Alex in 3rd, Partridge in 4th, we've got Tony White in 5th, Steen in 6th, Sir Spud in 7th, Victor in 8th, and we've got Ozone in 9. We've got Rudy in 10 and Tynus in 11. So look at the penalties there. Looking at Tony White, he's got 2 penalties of 6 seconds. That's what dropped him back down from the podium spot. Unlucky from him. So brilliant racing there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you have too, guys. Join us next week for Monza, the final race of the season, to decide who's going to be the winner, which it's looking like it's going to be Nick. But let's see who takes the 2nd and 3rd spot for the runner-up positions of the championship. I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. I did. Absolutely fantastic. I'm Energy Dan. I've been bringing you commentary today as of all of the season. I'll be able to join you next season, guys. I won't be going anywhere. So again, do join us each Wednesday night, same Twitch time, same Twitch channel. Do tweet us, do subscribe to us. Subscribe on the Twitch channel, guys. We're a brilliant, absolute fantastic league. We've got multiple leagues going on in Invictus. It's not just the one. Check us all out. Check out the videos. Follow us. Tweet us. Let's get everyone knowing about Invictus and joining in with the fun that we see on a weekly basis throughout all of the leagues. So again, join us next week, guys, for Monza, where we finalise the championship and see exactly who is going to be crowned. Again, we do think it's going to be Nick, but there are other positions to be had. Thanks for joining us, guys. Again, next week, same Twitch time, same Twitch channel. See you then.